It's another beautiful week. Welcome to PJ Talks. And this week, the big question: can men and women be friends? Just friends? I would say yes and no. The answers are both correct, depending on your definition of friend. If you are the kind of person who describes a friend as that person that you hang out with, you go to work with, you share a chat, you share a hobby, you go to sports with, then yes, nothing wrong with that, right? If your definition of a friend is more intimate, if you are that kind of a person that says, for me, a friend is someone that we have to share deep levels of emotions and talks and deep levels of understanding, a person that you can talk with and interact deeply. You can share, your emotional intelligence is so high, you can talk about anything. If you don't agree, you can agree to disagree. That kind of a person, if that is the definition of a friend, then I want to talk about you. For single men, women, single people, for you as one gender, you want to have a friend of a different gender. That person has to be emotionally honest and mature, and you, on the other hand, have to hold yourself to that expectation. Now, by emotionally mature, I mean you do not have to put meaning into everything out of context. Now, for guys, I would say you can be friends with ladies, but do not offer to support us emotionally, especially when we are having emotional breakdown. Because you may say, okay, she's married, she's just a friend of mine. But yes, you can be a friend of mine. You can offer to be that shoulder to lean on when we need leaning. You can offer some help here and there when we need our car is broken down and we call on you to come and help us fix it. Fine. Please do not be our emotional support. For instance, I have my husband and we have a disagreement, and then I want to talk about everything with you. Of course, as a human being, you'd want to be there for me. You'd want to comfort me. I would advise, if you're seeing it leaning more on the emotional side, you can call another mutual female friend of ours to come and help me out. That is if you know that you are also prone to temptation and it can easily slide to the other side. Now, if we are friends, just friends, you have to make sure that it is clear. You have to say it. Say it, Pauline, you're my friend. I really love you as my friend. Make sure you mention it. Make sure you clearly state it. Because if you don't, you may know your intentions, but you never know the other person's intentions. You may know that it is okay with you. You're just friends. But since you've not stated it, the other person may be reading more into this kind of relationship. Make sure you clearly state it. Especially when you are just beginning the friendship, because no one is a mind reader. You may be doing this thinking you're friends and somebody else reads more into it. So communication is very, very important. It is key. It is key to this kind of friendships. Another thing is that you may set physical boundaries, Since we are just friends, you're not allowed to kiss me. Clear boundaries, clearly communicated. Touch. Somebody can be tempted to read more into it. Holding hands, flirtatious kind of touches, you should avoid. Prolonged hugs, you may start reading more into it, right? That brings me to the next question. What about married men? What about married women? What about married couples? Well, this is my opinion. If you are a man and you're married to a wife who is a woman, I would say it is a very bad idea for you to have female friends that are not your wife's friends. One man said, if you're not my wife's friend, you're not my friend. I don't know you. Well, that was how he put it. The reason why somebody that's not your wife's friend, the other gender, should not be your friend is because it will actually bring trouble to your family. Why or how? One, your wife will not be comfortable with it. And if you value your marriage so much, you can be able to forego this. Now, if your wife is not happy with that kind of relationship, you probably know that it will always bring issues. And if you know that this is what is bringing contention in my marriage, you'd rather do away with it. Basically, dedicating time to someone other than your wife is outright crazy, right? The only thing I would say is that a peaceful home is not something that everybody comes by easily. So if you're blessed to have a peaceful home, then why risk it? I would say women are more in touch with their emotions. Why do I say this? If it comes to you having a friend who is a man or a woman, for men, I guess, when they meet, they don't have time to talk about,
do you have a new underwear? Have you seen this fashion line that has come? Oh, do you know your mother really liked crisps? Do you know that your father did this and that the other day?
you don't have time for all that crap or bullshit, as you call it. But women, I would say for us women, we are wired this way. When we meet, even if we do not know one another, and we get introduced, trust you, be in the first 15 minutes of our time together, we know what you like, with your favorite color, favorite food, favorite restaurant, all these things that you like. We know them. In the first 10 minutes, we know how your mother-in-law is. We know how your kids behave. We know your worst school teacher. With all these things, women, we talk. This is how we interact. This is how we connect. We talk about the things we care about. It is how we are wired. Different from men. Men can sit in a room in 1 hour and all they know about their friend is maybe their football team. That's it. Beyond that, nothing. So the way we connect as women is very different from the way men connect. Now, if you're a friend, you as a man with your guy friends don't really want to talk about all these things going on in their homes. Now, imagine you as a man having a female friend who is just a friend, and you go to this woman, you tell them, you know what?
The other day I was with my wife, and can you imagine, she accused me of this. Oh, my wife did this.
And you're talking to another woman who is just your friend. Remember, you are complaining about your wife to this other woman who is just your friend. What do you expect her to do? She'll be like, oh, I think I know. I saw that woman from the day one that you got into this relationship. I sensed that woman is just bullshit. And then because at that moment you are angry as a man, you'll be like, yeah, I think you're right. Before you know it, you end up feeling that this other woman is more understanding. You because she's in that place that she's giving you comfort when you need it, and then you start to interpret that as this woman is more understanding, knows me better, is in touch with my feelings, and before you know it, you are onto this other woman, right? Am I wrong, guys? So it is very dangerous for either way, a man or a woman, to be the one to offer emotional support to the person that you claim is just friends with you. Now, as I was saying, that women are more in touch with emotions. For us as women, we show what we feel. If I am angry, I will act angrily. I will throw things around. I will throw tantrums because I'm angry. If I am sad, I want to cry. I will cry it out, and the sadness drains out. If I am happy, I will be so jolly. I will be jumpy. I will be how do they call it? I will be jigglish, or whatever you want to call it. That is how for us we are. But men, especially in our African society, you're wired or you're taught to contain your feelings. Like you can't be happy and you're all jumpy. It's like
I got it together. I'm happy.
And you're done. Yeah? If you're so drained emotionally and you're sad and you're confused, all you can do is sit and think and scratch your head a bit and go for a walk, and you're like,
I will handle it.
So I would say it is not a good idea for you to go and confide in a woman concerning such issues, because naturally they will be more empathetic to your situation, and you may in the long run be tempted to think that they are into you. Hence, this eventually will bring a drain to your marriage. Go ahead in the comment section and tell me what you think about men and women being friends. Can a woman and a man just be friends? Just friends? This is what I want to leave you with. Never test the waters with something that is not waterproof. If you know, you know. And again, as a Christian, I strongly believe that you should never think you are above something, because at any time you can become a candidate, a great candidate in that matter, especially if you expose yourself to it. Let's go back to our Bible, the story of Joseph. Joseph was a God-fearing man. He knew that God had great plans for him since he was a young boy, and now that he had grown up to be a man, he still knew that he was prone to temptation. And it doesn't matter if he feared God, if God lived in him. He knew that by exposing himself to Pharaoh's wife, he would easily fall into temptation. So what am I saying? He had to flee when the opportunity brought itself. He flee. So as the Bible says, flee away from temptation. Don't think that because you're a pastor, you can't fall. Don't think that because you're a bishop, you're a great man of God, you're a great woman of God, you are a choir master, you say that you cannot fall into temptation. Just flee. Flee, as the Bible says. Flee from temptation. And that way, you're very sure that you will be safe. So, think about it.